Hello guys and welcome back. Today I'm in the kitchen once again and I want to share with you my version of shrimps and grits. I do mine typically basically like everyone else, but I add a little different a little different ingredient in mine, which is bacon. I fry me up a little bacon and I cut it up in small pieces and I sprinkle it over my shrimps and grits, which gives it an added flavor. But let me show you how I get started on it. At the moment, I got a pot of hot water that's boiling on the stove, and that's roll boiling. And now I'm going to add me 1 cup of grits. That's 1 cup of plain grits. And they say they're 5-minute grits, but we all know 5-minute grits never takes it takes longer than 5 minutes. So when you put your grits on, be prepared to stand there and stir probably a good 10-15 minutes before, because grits like to stick. They stick very easy. So you want to stand and stir about a good 10 or 15 minutes to keep them from sticking. And after you do that, you can you can somewhat, don't stir them as much, but every so often you still need to stir. Now that I put my grits in my boiling water, I'm going to lower my heat to about halfway, to about an 8. Take it off a high and put it on an 8. At this time, I want to go ahead and add my salt and pepper. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of pepper. Get that stirred in. And we're going to add our salt. Let me get a lid for this, because as you know, grits like to pop too. So now we're going to add a tablespoon of salt, and I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit, why I'm adding a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of pepper when we do our other seasonings. Not other seasonings, when we add our bacon and shrimp. One reason we're not going to add any more salt is because bacon is cured with salt, and bacon has quite a bit of salt already in it. So you don't want to add too much salt to your grits, because your bacon will answer in the place of that salt that you don't have in your grits. So, now that that's on and cooking, we now want to add 1 stick of butter, and that's a whole stick. And we want to get that stirred in. Now we want to also lower our heat to about halfway, which is about a medium high heat. Now that's looking good. And if you don't want to add that much black pepper, you don't have to. I like a lot of black pepper in my grits. If you don't want to add salt at all, you don't have to add salt, because like I said, the bacon will give you a sense of the salt flavor. So you want to be careful and not add a tremendous amount of either seasoning to your grits. Boy, they popped everywhere. And now that we got our bacon on, now we want to go ahead and get our bacon. Now that we have our grits on and got them cooking, we're going to go ahead and put our bacon on. And I'm using a Sweet Sugardale thick sliced bacon. I found that works well in shrimps and grits. And we're going to get this somewhat crispy, but not too crispy. It's going to be somewhat still bendable, but slightly crispable, halfway crispy bendable. I'll say it that way. But we're going to go ahead and get that on. Separate your slices as you put them in your pan. It'll cook faster that way. And for those that don't want to cook it on top of the stove, remember you always have an option of cooking your bacon in the oven. Oh, forgive me, guys. My glasses keep falling off my nose. There we go. That's our bacon. Let me get my hands washed. And we just want to continually move our bacon around once it starts frying. Let me turn that heat up a little bit. And don't forget now to go back every so often. See, they're already sticking. These grits are already sticking, so you got to go back and continually stir them to keep them from sticking. And at this point, like I said, you can lower your fire. They're 5-minute grits, but we all know grits don't cook. The 5-minute grits still don't cook in 5 minutes. So now we can lower our fire and just let them simmer. And we can focus on getting our bacon brown and crisp it up. I tell you guys what, once I get this bacon crisped up and fried, I'll bring you guys back and let you see the next step on our shrimp. So I'll see you in a few. All right, guys, our bacon is done. And let me show you. It's we have some bacon grease here that's left. And what we want to do, we want to be able to salvage this because this is what we're going to cook our shrimps in. However, you don't want all of that bacon grease. You only want a little of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to let me sit that back down there. We're going to take our grease divider and we're going to catch the grease and put it on top. And all the residue and the dregs from the bottom is going to go in the trash can. Now what I was talking about, you see that little all that blackness in the bottom of the pan? We don't want that. Because then what we're going to do is saute our shrimps in this pan that the bacon was cooked in. But you don't want that blackness in the bottom there. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our grease that we just poured out of there and we're going to return some of it back to the pan in order to saute our shrimps. And I'll say about maybe a tablespoon, not much, to saute our shrimp. And we're going to just take our shrimp and we're going to put them into our pan. And by the way, these are medium-sized shrimps. You can go with whatever size you choose, but I have medium size today. And we're going to just move these around and saute them for about a good 7 minutes. You don't want to cook them long. And we're going to add just a tiny bit of garlic powder. Remember, we don't want no salt. That's why I was telling you guys earlier, don't add any more salt to anything. Because remember now, you have a tablespoon of salt in your grits. And you don't want to overpower your food. You can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. So now we're going to saute this in our shrimps in our bacon grease for about, like I said, about 7 minutes. I tell you what, let's move this over here on this eye, the bigger eye, and we can get it done a lot quicker. There we go. Shrimps and grit isn't a hard thing to cook. It's pretty simple. About the most time-consuming thing, well, the way I do it with the bacon and shrimp, about the most time-consuming thing is going to be doing your grits and frying your bacon. But for the most part, the rest of it is pretty simple. It's not a hard dish to make. Okay, now remember, we're going to saute these for about 7 minutes. And once we saute those for a good 7 minutes, I'll bring you guys back and I'll let you see me put it together and see the final product. So I'll see you in a few. All right, guys, welcome back. Everything's finished, and let me show you now how I put it together. We got our let me get you set up here. We got our grits. As you know, they were cooked with black pepper, salt, and butter. So we're gonna put our grits in first. All right. Then we're gonna sprinkle it. Now this is the way I do it. I like to sprinkle mine with bacon. Most people just have shrimp and grits, which is nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's always been for hundreds of years. But I found out later years it just add a little added flavor if you add a little bacon to it, to me. Now we want to try get our shrimp. We want to get our shrimp that was sauteed in the grease that we fried our butter in and just sprinkle across the top. And there you have it. We have shrimp and grits with bacon. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. And like always, if you do, definitely hit me on my email at RickyJ429 and let me know how it went and what you think of the added bacon to it. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed and always try and be someone's blessing. See you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.